Hey guys, I'm back with another product review. So we've got Bianyo. Basically, Bianyo reached out to me again and was like, hey, we really want to send you our marker pad, our Micron pens, and our classic markers. And I was like, heck yeah, I'm down. And I recently took a poll asking you guys what kind of videos you liked most, and product review ranked number 3. So that was really exciting to see. I'm super pleased to be here reviewing products and pretty much just helping you guys figure out, what's all out there and how good is it really. So with that said, let's go ahead and start unpacking all this. So these are the Micron pens. It says here that they are water-based and water-resistant. That's interesting. Okay. So water-based and water-resistant. I always thought water-resistant markers had to be like, I don't know, alcohol markers. But I guess that's just a misconception of mine. Regardless, this is really exciting to get because I actually don't have a lot of lining pens. So I'm always open for having more of these. So we basically have a ton of different sizes ranging from 0.05 all the way up to, seems to be 0.9 is the biggest size. And then we have a brush. It's a little brush nib on this one. Already got it on my skin, so that's pretty cool. And then I'll show you guys the smallest nib and the largest nib because showing you them all would take forever. So this is the smallest nib. I don't even know if y'all can see that nib, but that's really good. I love having really thin lines. I think it's always a plus to have an extremely small nib like the 0.05. So yeah, and let's take a look at the 0.9 nib. All right, so 0.8 is the biggest. I thought it was 0.9, but it was, what I was looking at was 0.6. And you get your 6s and your 9s mixed up, so yeah. So this is the 0.8 nib, significantly bigger. You can actually see it on the camera. And then we have our marker pad, which I'm really happy to have received because, as you guys know, if you watched my previous videos, I only use 2 types of paper when it comes to alcohol markers. I use the Strathmore marker paper and the Express It blending cards. And it's not that it's not because I've tried a ton of other paper, it's just I saw that those were for markers and I got those and they performed well. So I didn't really see the need to buy any other kind. So this is my 3rd marker pad paper that I've ever used or will use. So these are the sheets. It is 8.27 by 11.69. That's an interesting sizing. There's 50 sheets and 70 GSM. So basically 70 GSM just refers to the thickness or weight of the paper. And 70 is definitely on the thinner side. Oh yeah, that is thin. That's like the thinness of a computer paper. That's kind of surprising. You can even see the design of the marker pad through the paper. That's how thin it is. And it's 4 markers. So I find this interesting only because if you've ever used alcohol markers will bleed through just about anything that is paper. So usually when it comes to marker paper tends to be thicker, especially marker paper made specifically for alcohol markers. So in comparison, just really quick, this is marker paper I use in general, and it's really thick. I'm very interested in seeing how this is gonna perform, and yeah, I guess we'll see. Moving on to the markers. Ooh, and here is our beautiful set. Some of the same colors from the brush markers, but a lot of other different colors as well are here. So, oh, there's a little insert. Okay, so thanks for shopping. Oh, so it's the color chart. Cool. Oh, how interesting. Okay, so I gotta give them props for this. Here's the color chart that they provide. And as you all know, with any product, I've said it before and I will say it 1,000 more times. Always color swatch any new product you get. I don't care what it is. If it's color, you gotta color swatch it, because you never should rely on whatever the color caps are or the color chart is, because it's not really 100% accurate. But Bianyo takes that into account and they provide a color swatch list for you to fill out. And that's awesome, because I think half the problem people find with color swatching is that it's kind of time consuming, especially when you're dealing with the fact that you've got most likely 70 to 80 colors. Sometimes some packs can be like in the hundreds, and that's a lot of colors to swatch, especially to swatch them all before you start using the product. It's tedious. So they went ahead and took out most of the hard work by listing, well, first of all, by giving you all these squares and listing each color name and number. And that's awesome, because now all I gotta do is just color it in and we're good. I'm golden. All right, so that's exciting. I know I've said that before, but that really is exciting because that cuts down on a lot of time wasted. And so I got my color swatches done and in lightning fast speed, because it was actually kind of fun. It was like I had to pick a color and just match it right up with every single one, and it was just so much more fun than I expected. And just, it's nice to be able to finish something quickly and not have to spend a ridiculous amount of time. We're gonna go ahead and move on and draw something up on this marker pad paper. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Micron pens, and they performed beautifully. I pretty much used, I think, 3 or 4 sizes. I definitely used the smallest size, which was the 0.05, and it was really precise and just worked really well. And I used a few sizes in between. And as I said before, I'm just happy to have them because I don't have many liners in general, and now I have a full set. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that the marker paper would probably surprise me, and it absolutely did. Despite how thin it was, the only thing it did was ghost onto the backside, which is to be expected. I get that even with the thicker marker paper that I use, but it didn't bleed onto my desk, and that was super surprising. Even with my Express It blending cards that have 250 GSM, in comparison, I still get bleeding. So I'm just really impressed, and I can't help but wonder what sort of material is used in this Bianyo paper. And I mean, I'm sure if you completely saturated a certain area again and again, you'd get some speckling bleed through, which I actually tried, and I believe that's what I ended up getting, like some speckling bleed through, but nothing heavy. And at the same time, that's not really something you would really do as far as putting down so many layers. And for the most part with this image, with all the ink that I did use, I didn't really experience any bleed through. And as far as the markers go, I thoroughly enjoyed them. The colors were vibrant and the ink flow was generous. I just recently reviewed Bianyo's brush markers, and despite these not having brush nibs, they were pretty comparable and still great. So I really love them. If you enjoyed this video, maybe comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.